9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, LinkedIn world. Your career BFF, Anna Morgan here, and my career BFF, Christina Mosheri, is here with me. And we are in person right now. And not only are we in person, I'm from Atlanta. She is from
Detroit, Michigan.
And we are in Mexico. How does that happen? So one of the things that we're talking today is talent acquisition strategies in this new digital age, and strategies for recruiters, because she and I both have been in the recruitment and talent acquisition space for a couple of years now, and also bring the special gift of being neurodiverse and ADHD. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of that, as that's a primary focus for some of the work that you're doing, and it's just simply my lived experience. So definitely say hello if you're in the comments. I'm going to take a minute to kind of just do a quick tech check, make sure we're showing up right, and I'll pass the mic over to you, Christina.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. One of the points that I really want to talk about, especially for talent acquisition in the new era and what kind of for 2024 is, this is a real life example here of building connections. Forget about the numbers, but to truly connect with people, I urge everyone, if you're looking for a job or if you're not, to invest in yourself to grow your relationship building skills. It has taken me beyond, like, to the moon and back of how far I've grown in the past year. You connect with one person, they introduce you to another person, and it's virtual. And Anna and I, how many Ask a Recruiters have I done since?
Okay, so Ask a Recruiter is a monthly audio event that I host on typically the third Thursday of the month. In December, if you would like to join us, it's early because of the holidays. It's on the 14th. But you and I probably have done 4 to 6. Yeah. And she was, this is the power of LinkedIn and networking, and being able to take your connections and turn them into real friendships, real mentorships. We both are a big fan of Brian Fink, who's well known in the
Shout out Brian Fink. Brian Fink, if you're here,
say hello. So connected us, and has been an awesome connector, and then it's allowed us to expand that kind of connection energy to be of service to other recruiters and to other job seekers. So we're excited about what's coming in 2024.
Absolutely.
With recruiting, and we're seeing optimistic about the future, right? Because what we focus on expands, and we want all good things for everyone.
And it's no secret that this was 2023 was a bit tricky for a lot of us. I can speak for myself. it has been a tough year for me. And I am so much looking forward to 2024. And I think that it can only go up from here. And, everybody has challenges in life, but it's how you grow and get to the next point.
Mhm.
And I know that, a lot of the audience is either looking for a job or just started a new job or maybe looking in the future. And networking and building connections is the root of how I've got to where I am here right now, face to face. Anna and I, my point was that we've spoken multiple times on Zoom.
Yeah.
And, one of the collaborative articles I just wrote about that I was invited, one of the expert speakers was, how do you build relationships on Zoom?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people are uncomfortable with remote meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was too. I remember in like 2020 when I first started having to interview candidates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was so nervous, like I was being and it's like
especially if you come from doing it like in person. And
yes,
we went through the phase of everyone getting burnt out on virtual meetings, but I think for me, like the experience with taking digital relationships into the real world is really about trust and willingness and being okay with being like, yes, let's meet in Mexico and, do a collaboration and, let's plan an event. And I think that's where innovation is born. And that ties directly into the brilliance of neurodiverse leaders, especially in the talent acquisition space, because we're not afraid to take the off-beaten path or to step up to the table to have a big idea. And, so we're a little bit of a risk taker.
Absolutely.
But, if you don't have those risks, you're not going to have the rewards. So
shoot your shot.
Exactly. And David, yes, questions, if you have any questions about, innovative digital strategies for recruiters or talent acquisition professionals for 2024. I'm going to share something that, I've had a personal experience with that is something that I want to bring to the talent acquisition community a little bit more. And it's definitely relevant for job seekers as well. So definitely drop your questions if you have any in the chat, and I'll certainly grab them. Go ahead.
If there's a Q&A, if you have questions, drop them. I would love to. I'm like an open book right now. You got me in Mexico mindset. I will literally answer anything. So, if it's something along the lines of neurodiversity and talent and interviewing as a neurodiverse candidate, you got me. I'm here, ready and available.
So when we were talking about like predictions for 2024, and we were talking about, innovative talent acquisition strategies. So one of the things that I don't see any recruiters doing right now is leveraging audio events. So I have
the first one I saw.
Now during the pandemic, when Clubhouse was really popular, there were some like FANG groups and recruiters that would show up there and do like spot recruiting. But I have not seen it. And y'all let me know if you do see it on LinkedIn. Please tag me or forward it to me, because I definitely want to shout out any employers or recruiters that are leveraging audio events to recruit top talent. And they could also, employers could leverage LinkedIn Live from their business page or from the recruiter's own live page to do hiring events as well. And those are two things that I think would be so cost effective and so relatable, because if we think about the customer experience of the job seeker and, what we as humans are craving when we make a decision about a job or are transitioning in our career, we want to know that the decision that we're making is legit and the people that we're working for are legit. And what
not
better
only for
way,
yourself, but for when you, the way I always think about it from a recruiter mindset is when I'm talking to somebody and we're at offer and giving them the opportunity to take this role, that's not just for them. That impacts their life, their but 40 hours a week of their life at least.
100%.
Their family life, they usually have a partner, or even if they don't, there are other factors that go into it
Mhm.
that, and I used to say this, whether I'm giving you a shorter commute, more money,
Mhm.
a relocation that you want to be closer to family, whatever it is, I like to make sure that I've connected enough with my candidate to know what they truly desire.
Mhm.
And I think that's where a lot of recruiters fall short, is
Mhm.
they don't really do that upfront intake to know
Yeah.
like what it is
That candidates want.
yeah.
But and candidates on that hand they want to pull back the curtain and understand, like, I don't want the stuffy, chat GPT corporate speak that's on the website. They want to be able to see a leader be interviewed at the company of said department that they might be working for, to be like, oh man, I really like that guy or gal's vibe. Like, I could see myself working in that environment,
Yeah. For all our neurodiverse people on the call, so sorry we had a little squeaky noise from
Yes.
our room, and if it's sensory bothering to you, don't worry, it is to me too. And I hope
Do you want me to go try to turn it off? It might get really hot in here.
Yeah.
So we just want to, I was going to show you real briefly the view. Let's see if it'll come into focus. Come into focus. It's not focusing. Okay, well, no. Maybe we'll take you out on the porch in a moment, but we are literally on the ocean. And we're spending time with you all to talk about talent acquisition strategies, job searching, instead of being out
We'll get there.
tanning our skin. But this is more important. 2024 is important for the talent acquisition community, for all job seekers. And, part of my why is, to help recruiters and job seekers work better together, to like stop the blaming of it's the recruiters, it's the job seekers, and all the fal-de-ral that happens, in that banter between the two. So what I would love to see, and what I will be talking more about likely at recruitment events, is, how to get organizations to buy into leveraging audio events and or live events like this to attract top talent. And this is especially powerful for organizations that have to do volume hiring, or say a big box retailer that's opening a lot of stores and needs to hire a bunch of people. And I'm just catching up on all the comments.
I'm reading, and as Anna keeps talking about audio, I will beat this drum for as long as I have fists to beat. But audio is the number one. Like, if I have the choice as a neurodiverse person, talent, to have audio or video, I'm going to choose audio. I speak better audio. The distractions
are less.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm more focused on what I'm saying, and rather
versus how I'm looking.
Yeah, rather how the person is perceiving me.
Right.
And it is part of the neurodiversity training toolkit that I'm coming up with, that for companies to really leverage audio, because you get the best out of all humans when they don't feel like they're under a microscope.
And depending on, if it is a neurodiverse candidate, or, someone that has a special disability, I think the most important thing is, as a recruiter that's been on the receiving side of that, if you don't, speak your truth and ask for accommodations, they're not going to know. I want to jump into Jeremy's question. Says, I was on an audio call and advice was shared that reaching out to recruiters after applying to a job is a waste of time because recruiters are just too busy. When applying to a job, for example, I would reach out to the recruiter or hiring manager, and if I find them, and even the people at the company that I know, and you're not getting a lot of response, and actually I had a one-on-one, we'll finish that. So
I'm gonna go with whoever told you that they must have had terrible experiences. I can't speak for every recruiter, neither of us can.
Yeah.
It's no secret that recruiters kind of get a bad rep. it's not every day you stumble upon a recruiter like Anna or I. So with that being said, I'm gonna say take that advice and just
I mean, listen, you're going to have people that are not going to respond. A lot of times, I get a very high volume amount of inbound messages, and they're either too lengthy or they are just spammy, and that they see that I'm a recruiter and they're not even like addressing a particular position that is very clear on my profile that I'm recruiting for. And they're just like, oh, I see you're a recruiter. Here's my resume, right? But Jeremy, to your point, if you've applied to the job, you've reached out and you've tried to personalize and say, a connection point with the recruiter.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
So he had mentioned that it was it was a reach out after an interview, right?
After they applied. So he clicked applied, and then he did the right thing, like looking at who were the key players, sending a couple messages to the recruiters, and just say, I would say, Christina, hey, Anna Morgan, I applied to the senior recruiter position. Just wanted to introduce myself. If you'll see my resume in the ATS. I hope to talk to you soon, because that could be one touch point, right?
Jeremy, I have one piece of advice or tip that I think you should try, which has worked for me multiple times. So when you go and you're doing that research and you're looking to reach out to those recruiters or those hiring managers, the hiring team, look who you have mutual connections with. Mm-hmm. Look through the mutual connections between you and that person and find someone like a Brian Fink or somebody that you're close with. Reach out, see what they know. Do they know that person personally? And that is like the golden sauce to get through. And I personally have that.
And to Jeremy's point, I'm seeing more of this where hiring managers are saying like, hey, Jeremy, sorry, I can't have a coffee chat with you because that would influence or, would not offer an equitable interview experience for people going through that interview process. And, you're going to run into that too.
And it could also be that maybe you applied through an agency.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's that too. If you ever get that kind of pushback, that kind of screams like your agency. I need to go through them sometimes.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Sarah's question.
Sorry, I'm far back. And
So we're going to switch gears back to talent acquisition focus. Nurturing neurodiversity and curating employer brand, making it welcoming and connect so that people don't self-select out. Any pointers besides a generic EEO statement in job descriptions?
Yes. Yeah. So as far as employer branding goes, I would focus the lens on inclusivity more than accommodations in your marketing, but your inclusivity needs to touch on points that are accommodating to neurodiverse talent as well as everyone else. So I really do think that focusing on inclusivity and neurodiverse talent go hand in hand, and you can do the accommodations route, but it oftentimes, as a neurodiverse candidate, it took me 8 years of working in corporate America to feel comfortable enough to tell my employer that I'm ADHD and
I still think we have a long way to go with this, and it is becoming more of a topic among talent and HR teams to help solve this from the candidate experience standpoint. So I love the question, and Sarah, I think that's something that we want to kind of maybe even have a whole nother topic on top of. And Sarah, if you don't follow James Ellis, he is great for employment branding concepts, and I'm pretty sure that he hits some of the neurodiverse stuff. So
and Sarah, there, I'm gonna, if you can connect with me on LinkedIn, I have an employer website I'd like to show you. It's a company partnered with Microsoft. I just have to get the name of it, but it's gonna blow your mind. So would love to help you with that.
All right, David is saying, I'm having a little bit of trouble. Admittedly, like most people come to LinkedIn when they immediately need a job and realize that they've got some work to do. on their network, rekindling these relationships and not answering. So, I mean, here's the hard truth about not maintaining visibility on LinkedIn. And this is why I talk about building career insurance as much as I can, for this very fact, David, that, it's, you pay your car insurance every single month. You don't need that money, or that deposit that you make doesn't come into play until you get in an accident.
Right.
So having LinkedIn visibility and building community and maintaining some level of visibility with those connections, even if they were 5 years old, and showing up for them, dropping a comment on their content, sending them a direct message, every now and then, you are putting social currency deposits in those relationships. And so when you need to call on your audience, when you have been suddenly laid off or under, career distress of sorts, you have earned the right, and you've put in the energy for people to respond. And that's a hard truth to accept. And
living truth right now.
And when you maintain a visibility and a networking strategy, a consistent networking strategy, those are the bridges that are bridging you from one opportunity to another. And they're also securing your professional foundation so that you have options, and so that you don't find yourself in this, oh shit, nobody's responding to me place. David, the only advice I can tell you right now is start today.
I have advice for you, which I learned somewhere, and I'll find a source at some point. But I was told to gamify the process. So it was,
or as I say, gamify.
Oh, gamify. Oh, then maybe that's my Michigan accent coming through. Okay, so it was like I have an index card.
This is my Southern accent coming in, so we're good.
And it's like, I very much think you should be posting your own words on your profile. Always be updating, change your tagline,
But don't change it too much, because I don't necessarily agree with always changing your profile.
No, but to some extent, I mean, I changed my picture the other day and I'm up. My impressions are up like crazy.
Well,
just saying. But I was going with that is, 2 points is like a comment, right? So comment, engage on somebody else's content so that you're in the conversation. And then reposting somebody else's content is like 5 points. You just strive to get like 10 points a day, make a game out of it, and make it a consistent daily habit. The only thing that I know to change your life long term that has worked for me is to consistently do daily habits. And it takes 18 days to make a habit. So shoot for that. I always like to make short-term goals, and then they end up becoming long-term life changes. So
yeah, and to that point, David, I mean, it's like, keep it simple, right? If you have a low network, I would focus on adding connections. Add connections of people that are doing the work that you want. Add connections of recruiters that work at your target companies. Add connections of just super cool, awesome people, because if you're vibing with what they're saying and you're showing up on their comments and engaging, right? Leaving a public comment. When you have public conversations with people, that builds trust. And when you are having public conversations, they're going to trust to have private conversations. And that's going to increase your response rate, because they're going to have seen you out on the LinkedIn playground and be like, oh, David actually says nice things in these comments, and he supports other people, or he's an expert in this. He's been talking about, supply chain or project management or whatever your niche is. And that's how you get the attention and build trust, and where second and third degree connections start coming to you. And then you open your inbox and you're like, wow, I have, 60 connection requests, and the energy shifts on the platform and you really start building community. LinkedIn is like it's like a marathon, you know. I mean, some people can catch lightning in a bottle and it's a sprint.
I don't know how they do that.
But it's not the norm.
Yeah, it's not the norm.
The marathon, you know, like myself, that is slowly built over.
Same.
I mean, I joined LinkedIn in 2006, but I didn't start really engaging and showing up for others until 2018, 2019. And then I invested in LinkedIn training, and that changed everything for me. But adding connections and commenting were the two biggest simple things that you can do to elevate your brand. And oftentimes from commenting, you will find your leadership voice. Then you may want to step into creating original content and a post here or there. Sharing other people's content doesn't do crap for your visibility. So I recommend I'd spend your time commenting over resharing, unless you want to share the Ask a Recruiter or an event like this.
I was going to say, I'm going to rebuttal you there, Anna, because I share your content a lot, and you should watch it because I do think that, you know, maybe not at this moment for you, but as you continue to grow, and don't look at us and think, oh my gosh, like, you know, they have such great big networks or whatever.
It's taken a while.
I have been working on my LinkedIn profile since it's been 8 years, and I started with get 500 connections, then get 5,000 connections, then get 10,000 connections. And it's just keep setting goals, keep doing the effort, keep putting in the work, outwork yourself for your goals, and it will come to you. And just follow the people that you look up to and want. Like, you look at their profile and you're like, wow, I wish my profile looked like that. They're in a similar role. Like, I would love to have that content, that following, that visibility, that exposure that person has, and watch. And like I like to say, observe and apply tactics.
Richard just dropped a good tip there, David, like commenting on viral posts, and also check out the LinkedIn news. If you want to be seen, that's something that I'm trying to work on myself. And collaborative articles are another space that you can be seen. And David, to go back to your other questions about non-responding connections, if I would look for connections on the platform that actually have activity. So when you go to their profile, it shows you that they have a recent post or that they've commented somewhere. Show up where they are engaging on the platform. If they're not visible anywhere on the platform, move on, on to the next.
Yeah. So I don't know your take on this, but if you look at when you go to make a connection request with somebody, then you go back to your profile and then you look at all your pending and those people that just sit on them and do not, what do you do with those?
Say it again.
So if you go to all of the connections that you request,
I have a lot of requests. Yeah.
Do you leave those requests pending?
No. I mean, I either am a yes or a no.
So, but you can look back and see that they're just sitting on it and they're not accepting you.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to this either, but I think it's something worth talking about, that with the algorithm, having all those pending connections, that
I don't know. I'll have to ask my mentor about that. Yolanda, the answer to introverts on LinkedIn, in my opinion, is commenting. I know it's like the most overrated and simple strategy on LinkedIn, but talking about gamifying, LinkedIn rewards you the most for comments that are 3 to 4 lines or longer. And that will actually blow up the visibility for you more so than making 1,000,005 posts a day. Celebrate other people. LinkedIn rewards people that show up for other people. If Christina was new to the platform and she made her first post and you were the first person, Yolanda, to comment on Christina's post, you're stepping on the dance floor first. You're starting the party, and your comment is going to be seen by everyone else that engages in that
I'm learning
post.
here right now too, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know comments needed to be 3 or 4 lines.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. So, Yolanda, I think if you can just start with adding connections and commenting, showing up for others, and the search bar, y'all, the search bar on LinkedIn is so powerful. You can search companies, titles, industries, hashtags, and all of those places are about, showing up and being visible with super cool people that are talking and doing the same things that you want.
And I think that keep with the introvert and the extrovert and introvert. I've gone through a lot of things in life where in some phases or seasons of my life prior, I was more introverted. And maybe I'm perceived to be more extroverted right now. Don't sweat the small stuff, and don't. I know a lot of people, and even me too. I overanalyze what I write.
And things are constantly changing on LinkedIn. Like, it's all about just testing different things out. And just literally, as soon as like the LinkedIn experts say, like, this is the way, it changes. Okay, but I will say, since being really active on the platform and working with some top-notch LinkedIn folks, that commenting has maintained its relevancy. And to Nikki's point, 12 words, any amount of characters that gets a viewer to hit the see more button that goes ... So think about that from a gamifying standpoint. If you make a comment and when you post it, you get the see more, and then people click into it, you're getting like lottery ding, 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 ding on the backside of LinkedIn.
Hi, Nikki Russell. Always love to see you.
Mwah, thank you for reposting today.
Yes, appreciate that. And the 12 words, I didn't know that either. So I got my pen. I'm writing too.
Yeah.
Like, we're all here to learn.
Exactly. So, I know that we will probably do some more collaborations and super cool stuff coming in 2024. We want to just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and talk about some of these strategies for 2024. And
we have some things coming that we're still, in idea phases. But
she has all the ideas.
I like, we came to Mexico. I brought all my vlogging stuff.
She's like, I want to make all the content, and I'm like, I don't want to look at my phone or my computer.
Right. We're at a yoga retreat, and
we did yoga. She did yoga. She did really well this morning.
Thank you.
I was very proud of you.
I was sweating. It is
Me too.
Very hot.
I actually saw the sweat like drip off of your face.
Oh yeah, I told you I was a sweater.
Me too.
But I'm so glad we did this. I know that it's kind of apart from the whole like reset, but us being together in the same physical place, we had to. I asked Anna, I was like, can we go live?
I was like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. In hindsight, it would have been easier to do an audio event versus being tied to the computer. But with these kind of faces, we have to show up on video every now and then.
Yeah. So if we didn't answer,
Nikki,
if we didn't answer any questions, like connect with us, send me a DM. I am happy to answer any questions. And anything neurodiversity, like that's the one topic that I can talk about all day long.
And you dropped a question in the comment. I'm going to have you just message Christina directly with that. I know she'll have some ideas for you, because we are at the top of the hour. Yes. And we had committed to 30 minutes. Julie, thank you always for your support and for being here. Yes. And please join us on December 14th at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Pacific for our December Ask a Recruiter. We've got some new faces joining the stage, and I'll share a little bit more of what you can expect with Ask a Recruiter in 2024.
And other things coming.
We're definitely talking about bringing Ask a Recruiter to an in-person event. So stay tuned for that. It will probably be in Atlanta, the first event, but we're thinking a total of maybe 5 cities. So kind of keep that in the back of your cap. And
other audio opportunities.
Christina wants to start a podcast, so
yes, I do.
Might be more coming. She keeps me young and relevant.
Know what? We connect each other's audiences,
exactly,
and we both win, and that's the way to win in the new era of talent acquisition.
Yeah,
is to work together.
Absolutely.
The competitiveness, get over it. Let's work together and lift each other up, and we'll all win.
Exactly. All right, friends. Well, we're gonna go get sunburned.
Yes.
We'll see y'all later.
Yes.